guys, it's Bro You Whack. So just like we expected, a lot of heroes got nerfed in today's update, which in case you guys don't know, there was a hotfix uploaded to Overwatch 2 that nerfed a lot of the heroes that got buffed a little too hard with the Season 9 update. And of course, they did nerf some of the more must-pick heroes like D.Va and Soldier and Tracer, and also the best hero right now, Zenyatta, but well, I don't really know how to say this, but they didn't really nerf the part of Zenyatta that makes him the best hero right now. We will get to Zenyatta at the end because there's at least 10 plus other heroes that got changed with this hotfix. First, let's look at the 3 tanks that got changed with this update, which is D.Va, Roadhog, and Zarya. Let's first look at D.Va's change, where they're going to be nerfing her light gun, aka her bunny blaster, where they're going to be reducing the projectile size from 2.5 meters to 2 meters, now having a total size of 0.3 meters. And in case you're wondering what projectile size is, this is basically what everyone's been complaining about, which are related to the hitboxes. See, everyone's saying that the hitboxes grew for Overwatch heroes when they didn't. The hitboxes did not change. It was the bullets, the projectile sizes that changed. Literally every hero in the game, their bullets became bigger, which means it was easier to hit. And in the case of D.Va, they felt like they didn't need to nerf the mecha shotgun bullets, but rather the bunny blaster for some reason. Now, Roadhog is going to be one of the few heroes that actually gets buffed in this update because the damage reduction whenever you use your take a breather ability is going to increase from 40% to now 50%. Now, while this will definitely help a lot of feeding Roadhogs will obviously not die as fast, you still have to remember that Zenyatta, well, maybe I'm spoiling the update here, but Zenyatta is still going to be a super popular pick, and the fact that you are considering possibly picking Roadhog over a hero like D.Va or Orisa or literally anybody else is just crazy to me. So that's why I don't think this change is really going to do anything to Roadhog other than just, well, help you survive a teensy-wincy bit longer. Finally, the last tank that's actually also getting buffed is Zarya, where they're increasing the minimum damage to her primary fire beam from 85 damage to now 95 damage per second, and the maximum damage that you can get when you're at 100 charge is getting increased from 170 damage to 190 damage per second. And that's just a massive buff for Zarya alone, but when you also consider who's some of the more popular heroes right now, which is Orisa and D.Va, well, who counters Orisa and D.Va? It's Zarya, and I think that's why they decided to buff Zarya specifically, is to have an answer for these two heroes. But will this make her the best tank to play compared to someone like D.Va and Orisa? I'm gonna say it, I think so, because you also have to remember that Zenyatta is being played a lot still, and Zarya can cleanse her Discord Orb and be aggressive. That's one of the benefits of playing Zarya right now, is that you don't have to hide behind cover for 2 seconds. You just bubble yourself, and you get rid of the Discord Orb, all while still being present and aggro in the fight. I really think Zarya is gonna be here to stay. But now that we're done with takes, we gotta look at the 5 DPS heroes that are getting changed, which is Hanzo, and Junkrat. Wait, we needed a Junkrat change? Soldier 76, Tracer, and Widowmaker. Oh my god, okay, what did they do to Hanzo? Please tell me they didn't bring back his one-shot headshot capability. Base projectile size reduced from 0.1 to 0.75 meters. Oh, let's go! It's a glorious day whenever they make Hanzo worse, and I am so happy. Putting my Hanzo biasness aside, the reason why they had to nerf Hanzo even more is to, well, 1, make me a happy boy, but 2, it's because he was shooting logs. You know, a lot of the projectile heroes like Mei and Hanzo, for an example, shot big old bullets, and it's not like you even had to be anywhere in the proximity of an enemy's body to be able to get a hit on them. So that's why they had to reduce the size of the arrow, so that's a little bit harder to hit. But the next hero that's getting changed that will surely confuse a lot of people is Junkrat, because he's getting 3 whole buffs to just his concussion mine. They're decreasing the cooldown from 8 seconds to 7 seconds, and they're increasing the maximum damage from 110 to 120, and the minimum damage is getting increased from 20 to 55. So basically, if you have the concussion mine touch an enemy, it'll do 120 damage now. Now, they're definitely trying to do this to bring back the capability of being able to one-shot C4 people. Like, you shoot a grenade, then you C4 and you instantly kill them. And I'll be real, I kind of like the fact that he wasn't able to one-shot C4 people, because it's just an annoying fact about Junkrat. But then again, that's what makes Junkrat useful. It's like Roadhog's one-shot hook capability. That's what makes him useful. And if he doesn't have that, then it's very hard to do well with Roadhog. But it's still possible. But what did they do to my boy Soldier 76? So they decrease his his scan projectile size to the smaller 0.05 meter size, meaning that it's gonna be harder to hit your shots with Soldier 76. And that's it when it comes to Soldier, and I think that was kind of necessary because Soldier, he has so much consistent damage, unlike someone like Cassidy, who has to take time in between his revolver shots, where Soldier's just constantly. However, now we gotta focus on what I'm considering to be the best DPS hero in Season 9, which is Tracer, and they nerfed my girl. They nerfed the minimum fall-off range. They're bringing it down from 12 meters to now 10 meters. Simply put, you just gotta get closer to the enemy with Tracer now, which means you gotta get closer to danger. I mean, the fact that you are able to stand 12 meters away from the enemy as Tracer, a very slippery hero, and still have maximum damage is kind of insane. Now it's 10 meters away, which means you're closer to, say, like a Zenyatta kick, or a Brigitte whip shot, or a Cassidy grenade, or even a Roadhog hook. And the last DPS here that's getting changed is Widowmaker, where they're nerfing her sniper rifle, where now it uses the smaller 0.05 meter hit scan projectile size, similar to Soldier 76. However, the scope shot fall off damage min to max range is getting increased from 40 to 60 meters to now 50 to 70 meters, which means now you're more likely to get one-shot headshots the farther you are away from the enemy. So while technically it's harder to hit your shots because the bullet size is smaller, now they're feeding more into the sniper mentality with Widowmaker, which I really like. You can stand farther away from the enemy, but it's just up to you and your godlike aim to be able to get a kill with Widowmaker. Next, let's look at all the support heroes that are getting changed, which is Illari, Lucio, Mercy, and of course the best hero of all, Zenyatta. Well, Illari is getting the most changes out of all these heroes, where her healing pylon is getting a massive buff, where the cooldown is getting decreased from 8 seconds to 6 seconds, and the cooldown whenever it gets destroyed by an enemy is getting decreased from 15 seconds to 12 seconds. Bro, that's awesome for Illari. But it gets even better because the Captive Sun is also getting buffed, where the explosion damage is getting increased from 100 damage to 160 damage per explosion, but they're adding damage fall off to it again, where they're reducing damage by 25%. So you basically have to be closer to the enemy to get the maximum 160 damage with Illari, which is fine, you know. Hey, we'll take those buffs whenever we can. But we gotta keep this moving along because I know you want to see that Zenyatta nerf. Lucio is getting a nerf to the projectile size to his sonic amplifier, decreasing the size from 0.15 meters to 0.1 meter. Now the total size is 0.25 meters. So Lucio, like a lot of slow projectile heroes, got their bullet size increased massively, and the fact is, when it comes to Lucio, obviously you can play far away, but he's most effective when you're in the face of the enemy, and the fact is, like, you can be sniffing the enemy and firing off of their body and still be getting damage off just because his bullets are so big. Now this is gonna make him a little bit more tolerable up close. Mercy, just like Lucio, is getting a change to her projectile size to her blaster, reducing the size from 0.25 meters to 0.2 meters. Now the total size is 0.3 meters. I think this is the first time in forever that I don't think Mercy mains are gonna bring their pitchforks and knives to the Blizzard offices, because obviously she's not a damage support hero. This isn't nerfing her flight or her heal beam or anything like that. I think this is gonna be one that Mercy mains can live with. But now finally we've gotten to the Zenyatta nerf. What did Blizzard do to try to knock my boy off the top of the mountain? Well, they're reducing his base health from 100 to 75. Okay, that's pretty good. And they're also decreasing the knockback to his snap kick by 25%. I'm laughing because that's not nerfing the thing that makes him powerful. It's the Discord Orb. That's amazing. That's the best ability in the game. But the second thing that makes Zenyatta so good is his shield health. Not his base health, his shield health, because shield regenerates on top of the base health, which means you regenerate your health way faster compared to some of these other support heroes. Now, obviously, reducing his health by 25 points is gonna be big. I mean, it puts him on par with some of the other support heroes being at 250 health. But the fact they didn't nerf his Discord Orb, they they didn't really nerf his shield regeneration health, and they also, more importantly, didn't nerf his projectile size increase, is still gonna make Zenyatta one of, if not the best hero to play in Season 9. And I don't know how you guys feel about the lack of Zenyatta nerfs, but also the lack of a lot of changes, but you have to remember, this is only a week after the initial update. I'm sure when the mid-season patch comes out, that they'll try to rework even more heroes, but the fact that they already did this a week afterwards, I can appreciate. But let me know what you feel about the changes, or rather, lack thereof. And until then, I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching more Overwatch 2 videos to come, and bye.